to do your opening? Because he has like a little bit of an opening.
I have a little opening, like,
Let's do it.
yo, welcome guys back to a brand new video.
Wait, have we started?
Okay,
Sorry.
okay.
But can we start again? That was me.
Like, I do like, yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video. It's your boy Matan, and this is my best friend,
Matt Meyer.
Governor Matt Meyer.
Excellent. Thanks for having me on your show, Matan.
You're very welcome, man.
This is really impressive. Thanks for including me.
You're very welcome. I'm so glad that we came here.
I'm glad we're here together, Matan. You are traveling the country, talking to people who are making key decisions to move our country forward and states forward, and I appreciate it. We're here because of your leadership, and a lot of people talk the talk, right? Especially in my business. A lot of people are talking the talk. You're walking the walk. You're putting in the hard work to make things like this happen. I understand you drove all night to be here.
How do you feel like after we drove a far distance to come see you?
I'm pretty nervous, to be honest. I'm pretty nervous. This is a pretty small state, so usually if I see someone who's driven a really long distance, it's like they drove an hour, 20 minutes to see me. But you, I think it was an 8, 9, 10-hour drive from North Carolina. So I'm pretty nervous. And you're very experienced in talking to governors. I'm not that experienced talking to governors, so I'm a little nervous.
There's nothing to be nervous, man.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. What makes you proud about being Jewish? How does that help you lead?
Look, a lot of my service, the very core of who I am, is about Judaism. Tikkun Olam has been integrated into almost everything I've done in my life, within how I build a family, how I was raised as a kid, how I'm building my own family, how I conduct myself in professional life. In many ways, I ran for office because I was a school teacher who felt like we weren't doing enough as a community to heal a broken world. And so I ran for office. Now that I'm in office, I think a lot about L'Dor V'Dor. How do we take what we have this generation and pass it on to the next?
How does the L'Dor V'Dor help you, Matt Meyer?
I think it helps me because in Judaism is incredible. It's a religion. It's a faith. It's a way in which to live life that has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. I do a lot of work with small business. 90% of small businesses are gone within 5 years. It's hard to make anything last. And this is a religion. It's a faith. It's a community that has lasted from one generation to the next to the next. A lot of what I'm doing every day in my office are things for healthcare and for education and for housing and for job creation and affordability that we don't just want to be like a one-time press announcement. We want it to be lasting policies that provide for people in Delaware and are a model for America, not just today or not just this week or this month or this year, or even not just for the next election, but they continue from one generation to the next. That's something I learned in Hebrew school.
How did Hebrew school help you, like, when you grew up?
I think the first thing, and Matan, we were talking about this a little bit before we started, but I was a middle school math teacher, and middle school is really tough. I recognize that many Delawareans, many Americans, many Massachusettsans, they run into problems in middle school. It's when bullying often gets really heated and tough. It's when people feel left out because of their difference. And I think I learned teaching middle school that we got to include everyone. And that basic principle is something I try to bring to how I govern. This is a time when there are elected officials, national elected officials, a president, who are standing up and saying, this America is for you, but it's not for you. It's for this group, it's not for this group. That group is bad, that group is evil, this group is good. I think that's fundamentally un-American. It's something I would never do in my 6th or 7th math grade class. Let's imagine in America, let's imagine a Delaware where we put our arms around everyone. Let's imagine how we bring everybody together. And for me, the root of that belief in governing that way is really my faith. So
that's really interesting, man. Can you tell me more about it?
Well, I I think that Matan, every day there are people contacting my office who feel left out and left behind. I think in all of American history, there have always been individuals and groups that have been left out and left behind. Today, it feels particularly harsh, right? It feels like people who speak certain languages and cultures, people who pray to certain gods. There are Jewish students on campus. There are Muslims who recently arrived to our country legally. There are Central Americans in Delaware who legally own businesses. All of these groups under threat. There are transgenders transgender individuals who simply want to play sports, who want to engage in athletics, and simply have healthy physical, mental. These are all people who we should be wrapping our arms around them and welcoming them in. We should be, as Americans, we should be looking out for those among us who are most vulnerable and working to protect them. We should be looking for those most vulnerable around the world, and we should protect them. That's fundamental to what it is to be American. Matan, I don't know your family history. My grandfather, my mother's father, came to a small town in Pennsylvania at a young age. He was a couple years old. His father came before him, didn't speak a word of English. He came here, and they came here because they were fleeing hatred, that anti-Semitism that became the Holocaust. And I like to think that today we can be that place for people all over the world, that if you're fearing harm, if somebody hates you for who you are, for the family you were born into, America will be a safe place for you. And it's important that we don't just say that, but we back it up through education systems, healthcare systems, housing systems that work for people.
Right. What are you doing? What are you doing in Delaware about anti-Semitism, about other kinds of hate? What do you see happening regarding anti-Semitism nationwide?
Well, anti-Semitism, first of all, we have to make sure our colleges and universities are places where there can be freedom of thought without villainizing any individual group. People should be able to have free and open discourse about Israel, about the politics of Israel, about the violence there and how to make peace without villainizing certain groups, without villainizing Arab groups, Palestinian groups, or Jews. We should be able to sit as caring human beings, understanding that we're all working towards the same goal. We're trying to establish that here. We're also doing everything that we can to make sure that everybody here can worship safely. There have been threats on synagogues like never before in my lifetime in America. That's dangerous. That's scary. I don't want anyone in Delaware to think for a moment that they cannot go and pray to their God because it's not safe for them. So we're working hard to make sure there are safe places, not just in synagogues, but in churches, in mosques, and Hindu temples, in Sikh temples, and the like.
Right. What do you do? What can be done to support not only acceptance but embracing of youth with special needs in your state? Is there like anti-bias or anti-bullying prevention going on in the schools in your state?
We have a whole bunch of anti-bullying work going on. I felt like as a teacher that schools students who go to schools, particularly in like elementary, middle school, neurodivergent students are expected to bend and change how they learn to conform to the classroom and the school. What we're trying to do is promote a culture where the school and the classroom have the obligation to bend how we teach, to change how we approach learning and education and teaching, so that whatever student walks through that door, whatever unique neurology they have, we are prepared to educate them and welcome them. And for some students, that's an inclusive learning environment where neurodivergent students are sitting side by side, included in a classroom with students who are not. But in other settings, it's appropriate to take neurodivergent students out and say, this is the most effective learning environment for you to learn. We have 19 school districts in Delaware. Each of them have different anti-bullying policies, and I call it really safety policies. But each one has emergency systems. So when there is identified bullying, it's dealt with immediately. There should be no place for bullying in our state. There should be no place for separating out or isolating someone for any reason, and especially for their neurodivergence. The reality is, Matan, I think it's not just out of the goodness of my heart. I think it's for the goodness of humanity. I think that people who are neurodivergent, they think differently. They approach problems very often differently, and that's a great thing. And that's a beautiful thing. And we shouldn't just have tolerance of them. We should include them and encourage them to explore their neurodivergence. There are discoveries that are being made by human beings because of their neurodivergence. We need to recognize that and encourage people, not just be tolerant of it.
Please tell me more about it, Matt.
So it's challenging to do. As I said, there are all these school districts. We have hundreds of schools. So one thing we do is we talk about it and talk about how important it is that we have inclusive classroom learning environments. How do we make sure that there's appropriate sensory things in the classroom, right? In learning environments. We in my prior job, I ran our state's largest county, and we were developing libraries. And one of our biggest libraries, Route 9 Library, at the time it was the largest library in the state, largest public library. We had this incredible sensory room, and we developed a partnership with Autism Delaware to bring in people to come in, and we want you to learn here in places you may not have the same opportunity to learn. We also have sort of sensory experiences in our public parks. So we say, okay, whatever we do, let's try to think about how we can do it in a way so no matter what someone's neurology is, they can celebrate this public space, whether it's a park, a library, a classroom, or any community center. And we're working not just to do that in public spaces, but encourage the private sector to do it as well.
How about you go back to
that's really Governor.
Can I ask you a question, Matan?
Yeah.
So how did you get into this? You're a pretty good interviewer.
Yeah.
How did you get into this?
I was fascinated. I was thinking like, who were the Jewish governors of my time? So I searched it up on Google, and I was really interested in meeting all 6 of them in person.
Wow, how many have you met?
Shapiro, just Governor Shapiro.
2 so far.
Yeah.
There are 15 years ago, I worked for a Jewish governor. Wow. The first Jewish governor of Delaware, a guy named Jack Markell. When he was a governor, do you know how many Jewish governors there were in the United States? There was 1 Jewish governor. Right now, today, you and me sitting here, there are more Jewish governors than any other time in American history.
Wait, really?
And it's kind of incredible when you think about it. Wait a second. There are more Jewish governors than any time in American history. We must be living in a great time for Jewish people, right?
Right.
But there's also more anti-Semitic attacks on Jewish people than any other time in American history. So there's this sort of dual world that we live in, where, yes, we have someone like Josh Shapiro, who may be a president one day, maybe even one day soon, right? He's a governor. But his house was firebombed right after the Passover Seder, right?
Right.
And so the dangers are very serious, not just to Jewish governors, but to Jews across the country, Jews who are celebrating their Judaism or celebrating their Zionism on college campuses. Many of them don't feel safe. So what you're doing is really important, and I appreciate it. Tell me about your own Judaism.
Thank you.
What kind of do you go to synagogue?
I usually go to synagogue. I'm interested in becoming an Orthodox Jew.
Why Orthodox?
I want to become more observant. I'm interested in praying 3 times a day.
You're interested in praying 3 times. Do you put on tefillin?
Oh, I did actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you do it by yourself?
No, I don't.
Yeah, me too. I need rabbinic guidance. Go to Chabad; they'll help you out. There's a guy in Delaware, Chuni Vogel. He's our rabbi. He'll help you out with that. That's great. What else? You keep kosher?
Yeah, I keep going, sure.
What do you put on your pizza? You like pizza?
Yeah, I love pizza.
What do you put on it?
Veggies.
Veggies usually. Veggies.
Yeah, good. I'm a pineapple guy. I like Hawaiian hold the ham is what I say. Hawaiian pizza, which is ham and pineapple. Hawaiian hold the ham. I don't hold the ham. Somebody else holds the ham. Good. What's your favorite Jewish holiday?
Passover.
But why?
I love that we were freed.
Yeah, it's a story of freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's people have said the story of Passover is analogous to a lot of other people's story. Yeah. And it's a celebration of freedom. I got in a little bit of trouble with a rabbi, Matan, because I might be the only Jewish person you meet who actually, not only do I like gefilte fish. Do you like gefilte fish? I love gefilte fish. Not many people like gefilte fish. My wife makes fun of me for it. And I also like matzah. I like matzah so much I eat it year round. And I told that to a rabbi here, and he said, you're not allowed to eat matzah year round. Because if you eat matzah year round, what do you do on the 8 days of Passover, Pesach? They're supposed to be special. So what do you do for those 8 days? And so I actually, a week before Pesach each year, I stop eating matzah. I'm not allowed to eat matzah. I have to eat bread for a week. And then I break that and I go back into matzah.
What do you like about having matzah, Mr. Meyer?
I think I like that it's a low-calorie alternative, low-carb alternative to bread. I think making a real matzah pizza. You put not just like cheese. Do you ever have matzah pizza?
Not really.
You should. So it's very easy. You put a little tomato sauce on, a little bit of cheese. If you want a few veggies, you put it in the microwave for like 20 seconds, and you have lunch. It's fast. It's cool.
Mr. Meyer, how fast do you usually do it?
How fast do I usually do it? I haven't timed myself. I think I can make a good lunch in 90 seconds or less. A good matzah pizza lunch. Maybe next time we get together, we'll have matzah pizza. If you want to talk to your rabbi, I want to make sure eating matzah outside Passover. I don't know the rules. I didn't go to rabbinic school. I don't want to get you in trouble.
All right. So, wait. I'm near the last one, Mom. Okay. You recently signed the blue envelope law into law. How do you? Oh, you recently signed the blue envelope law. How do you think it will help people in your state?
Right, so the blue envelope law enables individuals who are stopped by police to hold up a blue envelope to say, hey, I have a disability, so that police don't misinterpret certain actions as non-compliance. Look, there are incidences that we can all look at, Matan, where people get hurt and even lose their lives because of misunderstandings between law enforcement and residents. And I think it's really important that we do something like this just to keep people safe. I think police officers, public safety officers are by and large good people. They're trying to do good work. And many times issues that we run into are based on miscommunications and misunderstandings. So I think it's a great way. Representative DeShanna Neal, a state representative here, did fantastic work making sure that in that one instance, people with disabilities are protected. People with neurodivergence can be protected in challenging times. And we're encouraging people in Delaware to take advantage of it.
How do you take advantage of it, Mr. Meyer?
I think we're taking advantage of it by making sure that people who are eligible to get a blue envelope actually do it and use it. If we can spend a lot of time putting good law together and passing good law, and I can sign good law, and we can have big press events, but if people don't actually use it, then we're wasting our time. So it's really important to me that people actually use things like this. And maybe, who knows, I don't know if Massachusetts has a blue envelope law, but maybe there are other states that'll look and say, hey, I want to be like the first state.
Matan, you might want to finish up.
Right.
Yeah, one more. Let's do one more.
How does one maintain a commitment to public service and open of faith during such a polarizing time regarding Judaism and Israel at this time?
That's a great question. How do you how do you hold true to those values of public service when, number one, it can be scary sometimes putting yourself out there, right? Where people attack you for your religion, for your faith, for being different. And I think what gives me the most satisfaction, Matan, is when we get things done. In my last job in 2020, just as COVID was, we were going into the first winter with COVID, there were a lot of people sleeping outside. More people sleeping outside in Delaware than decades, and most in decades. And what we did is we bought one of the largest hotels and turned it into a shelter and said, it's a beautiful hotel. Anybody that wants can come in. We called it the Hope Center, HOPE, the Hope Center. And we ended up housing thousands of people. Over 1,000 families have gone through the program there, spent 90 days in a beautiful hotel, getting mental health, substance use assistance, if they needed support and safety from domestic violence, if they need job training, if they need someone to help place them in another house. Over 1,000 families have gone through the process and left and now have stable housing. When you do things like that, and I look back, it's still operating. You can see it right on I-95. It says the Hope Center just south of Wilmington. That's really satisfying. We're trying to make sure, as Governor Shapiro says, we GSD. You got to get shit done. If you're not getting anything done, then it's not really worth it. But if you're able to move things forward that really help people, if you're keeping kids safe, if there are just one neurodivergent kid in Delaware who's like, I'm safe because this guy is governor, then I feel like my service is worth it.
Right. Thank you so much, Matt Meyer. And I have one more question, if that's okay.
Okay, last one.
Okay, how do you see anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism related or not?
That is a tough one. I actually, in my job now, I have very strong feelings towards the state of Israel. I've been there a few times. As I mentioned, I'm also someone who can be pretty critical of Israeli leadership, that I do not believe Israeli leadership is perfect. Anyone who spends a day in the Knesset knows that Israeli politics are not perfect. I am laser focused right now on making sure we deliver for Delaware. It's important to me that people who have different opinions on Israel, who have different opinions on what's going on in the Middle East, can all get along here. I'm proud of my relationship with the Islamic leaders here. I was the first county executive to hold a iftar dinner. We celebrate Ramadan here and hold up our Muslim community and hold them in our prayers. I think it's important that we work together, and that's really what I'm trying to foster here. How do we work together, recognize that there are those among us who believe strongly in the state of Israel. There are those among us who really are against a lot of what the state of Israel is doing, and we can all work together to build a Delaware where people get the best education, where people have the best job prospects, where they can live affordably with the highest quality health care. And as long as we do that, who knows, maybe Israel and Lebanon and Syria at the West Bank, they can look and say, this is a model for how to create a community, and they can maybe learn a little something, and we can help address some of the problems they're seeing over there.
Thank you so much for having me here.
I really appreciate it, Matan. Thanks for your leadership. Thanks for putting yourself out there. It takes courage to do what you're doing. We're proud of you, and that's why we wanted to spend time doing this. All right?
All right.
Come back soon. We have...